Honestly, taking thumbnails for these videos is such a workout. Who needs to go to the gym when you just have books to carry? Hey everyone, Renee here. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're doing another book haul. So, it has been about 2 months since my last book haul, and I have accumulated about 30 books since then. But to get this many books in 2 months, maybe it is a problem. But can't stop, won't stop. You know, my wallet might not be happy about it, but I'm happy about it, and that's what matters. I am going to just show you guys all the books that I've accumulated in the past couple months, and I am not gonna go into summaries at all. Maybe if I remember during my uploading, I'll put the Goodreads links in the description. If you are interested in any of these books and you're not familiar, you can click on the link and go to them. And if they're not there, I'm sorry, but I will try to put them there. But yeah, I'm not gonna go into summaries. I don't want this to be like a half hour to an hour long video. So I'm just gonna show you, and we're gonna have a good time looking at books. So the first book is A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the second book in the From Blood and Ash series, and if you don't know, I absolutely adored From Blood and Ash. I gave it a 5 out of 5, one of my favorites of the year so far. So I'm very excited to see where this one goes. No, I have not read it yet, and I have not gotten the third one, even though I said I would. Of course I didn't. Next up is Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This is a book that I actually just got, but I'm super excited to read this, and I know I'm gonna cry because everybody seems to have cried, and I'm soft. I am a sponge, so you poke me a little bit, I'll cry, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Also in that book shopping video, you saw me purchase Frostbite by Rochelle Mead. This is the second book in the Vampire Academy series, and I am living for the nostalgia of this series. This is my first read through of it, so it's like new to me, but still nostalgic at the same time because it just reminds me of those mid to late 2000s like vampy vibes, and I'm here for it. Then on the topic of Vampire Academy, we also have Vampire Academy, which is the first book in the series, and as you can see, the covers don't match, and I'm angry about it. I know you're angry about it. Trust me, I understand. But in my defense, I saw this one at Second and Charles for literally $3.20. So of course I got it, naturally. I was kind of disappointed it wasn't the other cover because I hate this cover. Covers with actual people on it gross me out. I don't like it. This one, I mean, you can see her face, but like only if you like really look at it. You can see it, and I love the simplicity of the VA. So I wish this was this cover, but it's not. So I'm gonna live with it, and maybe one day I'll get the first one. So I have all these covers. But for now, we have a mess. Next up, we have Bunny by Mona Awad. This is a book that has been on my TBR pretty much all year, and I still haven't read it. And I don't know why, because I genuinely feel like I'll love this book. People say it's weird, it's wacky, it's like a big WTF, and I'm here for that. And hopefully here soon I'll actually get to it, maybe in July. I don't really have any excuse. I just haven't read it, but at least I own it, so that's a step. So maybe I'll read it soon, but I'm very, very excited about this. Next up, we have Get a Life, Chloe Brown, and Take a Hint, Dani Brown by Talia Hibbert. These are the first two books in the Brown Sisters trilogy. I do not have Act Your Age Eve Brown yet. I get them as I read. I don't usually buy series like off the bat. I buy them as I go because you never know like if you're gonna like it or not. So I don't know, I can't make that commitment too soon. But I did get a Life, Chloe Brown first. Loved it, 5 stars, amazing. So naturally I got Take a Hint, Dani Brown. I am very excited to own these. I absolutely love this series so far, and yeah. Next up, we have a book that I am literally so excited to have in my hand right now. And next up is a book that I'm so excited to have in my hands. I can't believe I have it in my hands right now. And that is My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. Oh my gosh. This is my first physical ARC that was ever sent to me, and I just got it last night, and I'm still excited about it because this is another one of my most anticipated books this year, and I'm living. So My Heart is a Chainsaw actually comes out on August 31st of this year, and it is a horror book. It's supposed to be a slasher type of horror, which I'm living for. Those are some of my favorite types of horrors. So yes, I am super excited to read this. I definitely plan on reading this very, very soon. And I am just super, super thankful to Saga Press for sending this to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you so, so much. Then we have These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This is a book that, to be honest, I don't know why I got it or why I want to read it so bad, because I don't often read historical fiction and I'm not a fan of the Romeo and Juliet stories. So that's what this is. But I'm gonna read it anyway, so hopefully it's good. Hopefully it surpasses my expectations because I don't have any. But I do really appreciate Chloe Gong because I believe that she is extremely young. I think she's like 22. Don't quote me on that because I might be wrong. I saw it on Twitter, so that might not be factual. But I think it's amazing that she's so young and has a book that was as talked about as this one out. Like, go off, sis. So I can't wait to read your book. Then we have Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Morena Garcia. But this is a horror, like a gothic horror, and I am obsessed already. And the cover, say less. Then we have The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He, another one of my most anticipated releases of the year. This is the Owlcrate version. I just got this in the May Owlcrate box because I knew it was going to be in there, and I'm so excited that they chose this for their book, and I love what they did with the cover. The hues of purple is absolutely beautiful, and I am so excited to read this. It is more of a sci-fi book, which, once again, like the historical fiction, I don't really go for, but I'm so here for this book, and I hope I love it. It sounds like a little bit dystopian too, which I haven't read something like that in a while, so yes, thank you. Next up, we have Luck of the Titanic by Stacey Lee. This is a new release. I actually hadn't heard about this until just like a few weeks ago, but this is a historical fiction Titanic retelling with a POC main character instead of the typical Rose and Jack, and I am living for this. I love the Titanic, so I'm really hopeful that this lives up to my expectations. I have not heard anybody talk about it yet, so I literally don't know what to think going into it, and I think that's great. A nice blank slate. I can form my own opinion without being biased by anything. Yes. Next up, we're gonna kind of switch it up a little bit, and we're gonna go to my graphic novels, like my mixed media, because I actually have quite a few. So the first one is Little Feasts, which is stories by Jules Archer. This is a very short book. There's like not even 100 pages in it, and it's all short stories, but they're like, from what I understand, they're like twisty, kind of disturbing, like dark horror type stories, which I love. I'm so here for that. And it is indie published, so we love supporting authors like that. I really hope I love this book. It's a very, very short read. I'm actually reading this in June, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. Next, we have The Sad Ghost Club by Liz Meddings. This is a book that I read a couple months ago, and it was just such a cute read. There's my J-Hope bookmark. I was wondering where he went. No, this is not my BTS bias, but he is my bias wrecker. My bias is V. But this is just a really cute mental health graphic novel about two ghosts, and it's just such a quick, cute, easy read, and I really, really enjoyed it. Then we have Heartstopper Volume 1. This is a graphic novel that everybody knows about. It needs no introduction, but I've never read it. So I finally picked up the first volume, and I'm going to be reading it in June, and I'm so, so excited to delve into this story, and I just know I'm gonna like it. Like, I just know. I just know. Next up, we have House of M Ultimate Edition. These are, I believe, the main 8 volumes of House of M, like the core story of it. And I got this when WandaVision was airing because I love Wanda, adore her, and this is like very heavily centered around the Scarlet Witch, so I had to get it. And House of M, everyone always talks about it being like one of the most amazing parts of Marvel, and I very much enjoyed this. So Yes, Marvel love right here. And then sticking on that Marvel train, I also got this, The Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, Volume 1. And I got this because I was asking the person at the shop, like, hey, is Mary Jane in the Spidey suit canon? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. And he showed me this. And I was like, oh my God. He was like, yeah, she has like a white suit. And I was like, what? I've never seen someone cosplay Mary Jane in this way. They always just kind of cosplay her like in the actual Spidey suit. So I was very intrigued by this. And I am actually in the process of putting together a casual Mary Jane cosplay from a fan art that is well known within the community. I'm sure you'll know once I post about it. But I think that this would be really cute to have for a photo shoot with that. And I also am 100% going to read this because, look, it's so cute, and I love the art, and I love Mary Jane, so I just think that this is going to be a really fun read, and I'm very, very happy that the guy recommended it to me. Thank you, sir. Next up, I finally got the first volume of Paper Girls. I've been wanting to read this for a long time. I just got this. I actually got it from the same shop that I got this from. I love the coloring of it, too. Like, the coloring is just really cool. It's a vibe, for sure. And then lastly, I have Saga Volume 4. I have read the first 3 volumes of this story and I'm absolutely loving it. It is so fun. So I'm very excited to continue it with Saga Volume 4, which I have said I was going to read so many times by now, and I haven't. Next up, I'm gonna just take a second to talk about this one. So I did go ahead and purchase Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas, and I had every intention of doing a reading vlog while reading it, like reading a book I never thought that I would read. But it's gonna stay unread just because of everything that's going on with Sarah J. Maas right now. I just don't really want to talk about her, so I do have this, and I'm gonna put it down and not talk about it again until she decides to start talking. And then next up, we have Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. Strange the Dreamer is one of my all-time favorite books, and I haven't actually read Muse of Nightmares, but soon. This is on my June TBR, and I never really owned them until now because I knew that I wanted these covers specifically, and the bookshops around me just didn't have these covers. They had like the really, really pale blue one or like the split color like foiling covers, and I just don't like those. So I waited and I found and I love. So I'm extremely happy to have these. Next up, we have From Luke-Off with Love by Mariana Zapata. This was gifted to me from my friend Lucy from Read by Lucy. I will leave her channel down below. We gifted each other a book off of our Amazon wish list for a vlog that we're currently working on. So I'm not sure if that will be up before this. It might be. If it is, I'll link it down below so you could go watch it. But this is essentially a sports romance. It centers around figure skating, and I am so obsessed with that. I love figure skating, so I'm really intrigued to see what I think of this book. I feel like I'm gonna love this, and I'm so excited to read it. Yes. Next up, we have 2 books that I'm currently like in the middle of reading, which is kind of embarrassing to say because I feel like I should be done these by now. My reading slump is being exposed right now. But the first one is The Right Swipe by Alicia Rai. It's okay. It's a very okay book. It is a romance book. It centers around social media and dating apps. It's a very interesting concept. I don't dislike it, but it's just not really holding my interest, and I really think this is what put me in a slump because I just want to finish it, but I also don't want to pick it up. And then we have a book that I'm going to be finishing right after I finish filming, and that is The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. I am almost done. I'm on page 208, and there's like 300 pages in here, but I am enjoying it so far. I'm not enjoying it quite as much as I thought. Pause. This isn't a wrap up. Anyway, yes, The Lost Apothecary. Cover goals. Also, by the way, we love the coloring. And then the last pile that we have Witches Steeped in Gold by Shannon Smart. This is a book that I also did not get to this month, but it is about witches, rival witches at that, and it is stunning. This, once again, is an Elle Crate cover. It is more gold than green, and that is the main difference. It is a chunker, but I'm really excited to read it. I just really haven't had the time to, but all you need to know is it involves witches. Next up, another Elle Crate exclusive. We have Sweet and Bitter Magic by Adrienne Tooley. This cover and the sprayed edges, everything. I love the purple, and this is more of a fantasy book about gay witches. Oh my gosh, like amazing. Next up, we have a few thrillers, and the first one is The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. This is a book of the month version that I actually got from Second and Charles, and I haven't read a Lisa Jewell book, but I went to Second and Charles and they told me that this was gonna be the one that I read. So I always hear mixed reviews about Lisa Jewell books, but regardless, I am very excited to read this. Next up, we have The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This is a book that was talked about a lot last year. I think it was like one of the Goodreads picks for thrillers. It might have been like the winner. I can't remember, don't quote me. I hope I like it. I kind of get the vibe it might be a little pretentious. It's like, from what I gather, more of like a well-off family, like rich people out on an island for a wedding. And I guess one of them is a murderer. And I kind of am getting Clue vibes from this. Like, they're on like a desolate island in this mansion, and it's giving me like kind of like rich vibes, but there's a murder and you kind of have to figure out who done it. So yeah, I'm getting Clue vibes, and I don't know if that's accurate, but I'm excited to read it. And then lastly, we have The Night Swim by Megan Golden. This is a book that I've been wanting to read for quite a bit now, and I finally went ahead and got it, and it is a thriller. I believe there's a podcast element to it, like a true crime podcast, and I'm here for that. I've never really read a book that involved a podcast, so I'm really intrigued, and I really hope I love it. I've been in a huge thriller mood, so I feel like I'm gonna get to this one pretty soon, and yeah. So those are all of the books that I've accumulated. I believe it is exactly 30 books, and I am extremely excited about them. I'm so happy to own them, and I cannot wait to read them all. So yes, if you're not subscribed already and you would like to keep up with me and see me read all these books, please consider subscribing, hit that little button, keep up with me, and also if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up down below as well to help support this channel. And as always, all my social medias will also be linked down below, along with anybody that I mentioned in this video. So definitely go check those out. And once again, I hope you like this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!